Hey, so a lot of people have been asking me to check out Guild Wars 2. Then I checked it out and I didn't like it so much that I didn't even think it was worth making a video. But more and more people ask me about it, so I'm making the damn video. Here you go. Now, there's a lot of things that I have problems with and a lot of little things as well. So instead of nitpicking, instead of making an hour-long video, I'm going to go on the three major things that they themselves, the developers or whatever, said at PAX were the top things that made their game good or unique. I forget which was. You could watch the PAX video. One was their dynamic events. The second was the combat, their unique combat style. And the third was their personalized stories. All kind of BS in the thing. I'll start with dynamic events. Dynamic events, it's a good idea. The idea was every time you go through an area or whatever, it's going to be different. These dynamic events are going to pop up and you're going to see them, and things are actually going to be changing in the world, and what you do will have an impact on that world. And it's a great idea. I love the idea. The execution that they did it on is basically, it's a script that runs over and over and over and over again, and it has only so many possible outcomes, and you'll see the possible outcomes many times, especially when the script is killed right in the beginning because you stop the invasion or whatever. Stop them from attacking a bridge, and then the script ends. And then, you know, a few minutes later, they attack the bridge again. They appear out of nowhere and attack the bridge again. And no matter how many times you stop them from attacking this bridge, I'm using an example, it's a real one that I saw in the game, they will continuously attack that bridge. So, really, you have no impact on it whatsoever. It seems like you do, maybe, if you're a moron and you just leave right after you've saved them, but they're continuously attacking, and they will continuously attack forever on this spot. And if you fail, they'll keep going, but you'll eventually knock them back all the way to the bridge again, and then they'll keep attacking it. And it's just this continuous cycle. And not only that, they have the game, the map, split into zones. Little zones. You know how they do it with the mountains or whatever, or water, so you can't leave the zones. You can only go in and out through a few spaces. Basically means that these dynamic events, at the best, are limited to this zone. So you're not... Whatever you do elsewhere, it doesn't matter in here because it can only affect that zone. They can't expand outside the zone even. It's very constricted, and it's not a dynamic world at all. You come through much later, and the world is more or less the same. I mean, you will see probably the same scripts, the same villages. Sure, maybe the villages would be taken over by enemies, in theory, but you just kill the enemies and the village is still there. The village will always be there. No, there's not going to be new spawns of villages. These things will always be there. The cities will always be there. They have, only that, they have these, they still have the other quests. It's not just dynamic events that rule the world. They have the normal boring quests where you have to go kill things or save things or do things, and they have them in the renowned hearts. They have little hearts, and if you manage to do the quest, they don't call it that, but if you manage to do the quest for them, then you can buy stuff from the NPC that holds the heart. And that NPC will always be there, dead or not, he'll be there. You can revive him and he'll be there, and he'll always be there. There's not going to be new ones. Well, maybe they'll put in a couple new ones, but the old ones will still be there. And it's a very, very static world, it seems. And the dynamic part of this, great idea. Again, I'm not against that. It's just that it's not dynamic. They just seem to call it that. And really, they have like scripted events. They don't really want to call it that because there's bad connotation, but that's what it is. So, let's see what else. Make sure I didn't prepare very well for this. I'm sorry. Not really. So really, this world is not a living, breathing world, which they kept saying. I don't know why, how they could possibly say that when it's like that. And the NPCs, they say move around, but they like move around in circles, and they don't really react to the world. I remember seeing while playing an NPC get hit directly with like a trebuchet shot, right? Like these trebuchets are attacking this town. And I'm in there, and I see the NPC getting bombarded with this. He's not being killed. He's being bombarded with this, and he's not doing anything about it. He's just sort of taking it. And I don't know, that doesn't seem like a living, breathing world when NPCs are morons and such like that. It's a great idea. It kind of tries to make the illusion that it's a living, breathing world. Like, NPCs will yell at you and tell you there's a quest. Instead of just having a question mark on their head, they'll yell at you the quest and things like that, which is fun and interesting, way more interesting than normal games. And they put in that extra effort, but it's still the main thing that's wrong with it, you know? It's still very static quest. Even though the quests move around in their dynamic scripts, it's still the same one that's happening over and over. It's like watching the same story or same episode of a TV show over and over again. You can participate a little while, but eventually you're going to get bored. Terrible. Alright. What's the next one?